All right, we're at 2:03, so I think we can go ahead and kick off. So people who maybe join in late can hop on the webinar replay if they need to. But we're here today to talk about prescription. So those of you who use our system currently, or even those of you who are in a trial, may have noticed that there's not a prescription option. So we built our system primarily for aesthetics, which we tend to not see medical patients in aesthetics. And we tend to also, not see a lot of prescription happening from day to day. So that's, in some ways, that's changing just on the aesthetic side, but also in the current reality, changing considerably as you guys are doing probably telehealth visits, seeing more medical patients, and trying to just do more and offer more as practitioners right now who are stuck at home in the corona. So we wanted to bring this feature to life quickly. I'll make a few disclaimers as we start. So we have given you the ability to send e-fax, the email prescriptions that comply with the universal fax and universal email form for pharmacies to accept. You're not going to see a full e-prescribe portal. That's a much bigger undertaking, which we're currently doing right now. So you won't have the full e-prescribe that you would see with all the medical education, drug interaction history, and all those things in it. But you have the ability now to build a prescription, create it, and send it off to the pharmacy on behalf of your patient. So hopefully that's going to be a massive improvement for those of you who have nothing right now, or you're having to write a hand prescription and give it to a patient who you can't physically see, in the face-to-face right now. So this will actually be pretty short today because we're just going to really focus on this procedure or this particular function. So I'm hoping that it's not a laborious webinar for you, but that you get what you need quickly. If we have any thoughts before we start, Victoria, anything you want to add, or we want to go ahead and I can share my screen if you want. You good?
You're all set. Yep, we're all good.
I'm going to share. Give me 1 minute. Let's see here. I can't do my Zoom today either, apparently.
We're losing it.
We're having the corona psychosis. So can you guys see my dashboard, my AR dashboard? Do you see it? Okay, perfect. So if you think about prescriptions in the system, the new version of this, you sort of have 3 different buckets to focus on. And so as you think about setting this up, I'm going to give you the best way to do it as a practitioner going through to basically set the whole thing up for you from now on. So if you're in your dashboard, the first thing you want to decide is within your practice, who has the scope of practice to write a prescription. So let's say in our case, it's both Victoria and I can write prescriptions. So we have obviously NPI numbers, DEA numbers, a lot of those numbers that are long and crazy and you can't remember off the top of your head in many cases. We're going to go in and attach those numbers to our profile so that no matter what we prescribe from here on out, it auto-populates with all of our numbers. So I'm going to go first from my settings in my dashboard here, my little settings widget, and I'm going to go to teammates. And in my teammates section, I'm going to look for, you guys guessed it, Margot Parker. My pseudonym, I'm going to write a book under Margot Parker one day. So if I go to look at Margot Parker's profile here, which she tends to always default to my name, in your current settings now for a teammate, this is a brand new piece that you'll see. If you'll scroll all the way down to the bottom, if they're going to work as a provider, that's important, they have to be a provider in the system, then what you can do is just scroll on down and you're going to now see prescriber information. So you'll use your license number, DEA, NPI, Medicaid, whatever you have, and load this here. Once you've done this one time, it will auto-populate for any prescription that you write from here on out. So this would be step 1 for me if I'm looking at this as a prescriber or a provider, going into here to anyone who can prescribe and just get it done. So that way it's all populated for you. So we've already gone and done that here for Margot. You'll notice it's not asterisk, it's not required, because as we know that not every person in the practice can prescribe something, and RN can't prescribe, your estheticians, so it will not be a mandated field. So just make sure that if you want to do prescriptions that you come in here and do it and update your profile. I'm gonna go ahead and click save. And so now Margot Parker's information is in here. So I'm going to now go to the timeline and look at how I actually log a procedure and how the prescriptions are done, and how the patient's information can be put inside the procedure. So instead of doing it like in the moment, I'm going to actually walk backward and show you how the patient side of this would look on the insurance component. So for most of our patients who are going to do prescriptions, are going to want to use their insurance card to get a discount or to obviously get it paid for. So let's say that we have a patient coming in today. Her name is Victoria Adrian. She's going to come in and see us. What you could do is a couple of options. You could go into your questionnaire section and you could build a questionnaire specific to insurance that you send out as a like a pre-work for your patients, like a pre-exam or pre-questionnaire. Goes to the patient portal, they fill it out, they send it back, and you have their insurance card information in front of you. We obviously can't do a front and back copy right now, so those things are not going to be viable in the current environment. But what we could do is go over here to our patient profile, who is Victoria. We're going to go into our actions and we're going to edit her profile. So you'll see here, she has her typical information. You'll notice a couple things are missing, and those will prompt us later on, like date of birth. But if you don't currently set your patient's date of births in the system, I would recommend doing it, because as you guys know, for prescriptions, you have to have a date of birth. That's how Walgreens decides that I'm the right Tiffany Lopez. So here it's not mandated because this could be a cosmetic patient, but you'll see in the prescription fields, you have to have a date of birth that's required. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it blank right now and pretend I don't know that. And I'm going to scroll on down. See, she has no address, no anything. Keep on going. And at the very bottom here, you see insurance provider. Same as in the provider side. Once you put it in here one time, it's in here forever. So let's say that Victoria has Blue Cross Blue Shield, and her ID random numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Policy group is going to be VA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we obviously know that you have to have a phone number for the insurance company. And she works for Aesthetic Record, and no prescription card because her Blue Cross Blue Shield card is everything she needs. So we're going to go ahead and put that here though, in case the pharmacy gets confused, and hit save. So now anytime I see Victoria Adrian from now on, just like a typical EMR or EHR would do, that insurance information is going to be attached to her name as I write the prescription. So that's all done. So we're pretty good on that. That part's not so hard. So again, you do your provider insurance or your provider NPI, DEA, UPIN number, all that stuff first. And then your patients also need the corresponding insurance information in their profile to get started. Any questions or thoughts on that right now before I move on? Victoria, are you doing the Q&A monitoring of our system here?
Monitoring, we don't have any questions so far.
Well, that's remarkable. Okay, so I'm going to change patients here because I've been working on one who's coming in today. I'm going to look for, my telehealth visit today is going to be Maddie Roberts. Let's find her here. And she's coming in today for just like a skin exam of some sort. She's having some problems with her skin, whatever her reasons are. So under Maddie's profile, I'm going to create my procedure. And if you're thinking about, do you guys do billing and coding and all these things we were asked yesterday in the system? We're currently working on right now the ability to do the super bill in our system that will generate for you the actual super bill with the CPT codes on it, the ICD-10 codes on it. That's not in here right now. So if you are going to do some medical billing, because you do it anyway in your clinic and you want to go to telehealth and do it, just know there's a place to do dot phrases to put all that in here, and you'll see I'm going to do that in a second, but it's not actually set up in this exact moment for the super bill to be generated, but it is coming, I promise. So for now, just know that going in, but we're going to put in here, she's got a skin consult or skin exam, and let's see, I'm her provider. She's in our virtual clinic, procedure date, and so I'm going to use my dot phrases to make it easier. And if I'm really doing a true medical type exam here, I might use one like comprehensive note, which has a lot of things that are very medical-ish, tremendous amount of things in this dot phrase, like lots and lots and lots. Like that might be a bit of overkill. So if we don't want to use that, we can just delete that one out. So that's a lot of stuff. And instead, maybe we just do let's do a virtual quick note. And we go through more of like a chief complaint type thing here. So I could fill in all of Maddie's information that she's had done, things that are relevant to her history or to her particular chief complaint, and fill all that out. I might also want to include in this chart, now thinking about going forward with drug interactions and a super bill, additional information. So I could also do a thing called a call, at call. And I've gone through with Maddie in a previous visit sometime before and done her medical history. So I know things like what she's currently taking, if she has any allergies. So I can just do an at call and bring that same information over into her chart and not have to type it again. So let's say for Maddie, I know that she has some things she's already taking. So she's already taking iron. She's got some probiotics, some different things. She might have some existing medical conditions. So let's see if we can put any of those in here. Oh, yep, she's got anemia. I'm going to put that in here in our chart just because. And then let's see what else we have. Oh, she has some allergies. So I can go ahead and tie these things to her chart, which is using the call function. So if you're not a current user of our system, or this is new to you and you're not currently using the medical history, for every patient who comes in, we have the option to do their medical history here. So what I've pulled that from is this medical history button right here. I pulled all that from this particular field. So if you're doing an intake questionnaire of any sort, you can put all that in the medical history and then just call it into her chart just with the @call button. So you'll see some things being added here that you'll need specifically for medical exams that'll be coming very soon around current prescriptions and different things that are much more focused on the medical patient. But if you're doing cosmetic patients as well who might need something, it's also applicable there too. I'm going to exit out of the medical history just to show you how it looks. And I'm going to go back into, here's our little skin exam for Margot Parker treating Maddie Roberts. And now we're going to get into the prescription details. So this part is new. If you are a user, you've seen this many days, this prescription button right here. So we're going to actually prescribe to Maddie today for her skin conditions. So this form that you're looking at right here is the universal pharmaceutical form that you need to do any kind of electronic prescriptions. So it's in a sense like a fillable PDF. And so as you fill these things out, you're satisfying all the requirements that the pharmacy needs, that when you send it, it should all be there, be really easy to read for them. If they have any questions, they can call you back, obviously, but it's pretty inclusive of all that you need. So although it's not e-prescribe, it should be all inclusive of what you need to get your prescriptions in. So we have a few choices here. When I go to the doctor, they always say, which pharmacy do you use? And they want to know your pharmacy. So if it's a pharmacy you don't currently have in your system, you can always add new. So I'm going to look at, I've got Walgreens already that I've loaded in here, and I have a corner store, but I'm going to add in a new pharmacy. And we're going to call that CVS. CVS on Hebron and Josie, because I have an office in Carrollton, Texas, and this is the most popular pharmacy in the whole place. So they might want us to send email or fax. We can find that out. So let's say that the option is to send a fax. Then we have to put our fax number in. So 870 is my phone number, by the way, if you want to call me later. So put the fax number in. If they want to default to email, we can also put the email in here, which will default us to put an email in. So for now, we're going to put the pharmacy number is this. This information here is how the system will know where to send it via the fax. So it's all done like in an electronic e-fax world. So once I've done that, CVS is here. So it's saved forever in your database. So if the next patient comes in with the same pharmacy, it's all already done for you. So that's all here. You can certainly add an email if you want. So we could add, CVS123@cvs.com. The date needed. So she's going to go pick this stuff up today. And we have options here to ship it to patient's home, or she's going to go pick it up. If I could type today, we'd be much better off. So let me just check in with you before I keep going, Victoria. How are we feeling over there? Everybody good? Yeah? Okay. All right, so from here, the patient information section, what I just showed you on the insurance is where it's pulling this information from. So for Maddie, this all comes off of the chart or off of the patient profile. So if you remember Victoria's that I just showed you, when I was filling things in, whatever I filled in there gets auto merged into here. So you want to make sure that information is clean. So when they come in, do they have the right phone number? Do they have the right email? Do they have the right address? All those things are really important now, because from an insurance perspective with the pharmacy, the accuracy is, it's critical. So for Maddie, we have her DOB in here. So she's already been confirmed. If we did not have that, you see a little red asterisk here. If you guys can see that red asterisk, I could probably zoom my screen in for you. That little red asterisk will make sure that you don't close this out without having that in there. She's a female, and then she has no address. So we're going to put that in here for her. And then she lives in Carrollton, as I said, in Texas, and her zip code. And then we might put a daytime or evening phone number in, not required. Here's her email address, which doesn't match her name at all, Victoria at aestheticrecord.com. But then you see here her insurance information populated automatically into the system. So in Maddie's profile, she'd already filled out her information questionnaire about her insurance. So here's her United Health Insurance, her ID number, policy group number, and then the name of the insured is her. So I have self-marked here. So she's the insured. And then her employer, in case it's an employee or a company-based insurance plan. Prescription card, yes, she uses RX discounts. Great. So as I go down here, we go into clinical assessment. So we're going to prescribe to her today Accutane because she has some acne problems going on. So she's getting the adult acne. It's her first time to have acne. So she's going to be new to our therapy. And then there are about 5,000 ICD-10 code databases that exist right now. Until they're programmed in the system as a drop-down menu for you, we're going to diligently find one that's very clean and current for you that we can put in here as like a link out to go look at it and come back in and put the code in here. So I have, let's see here. I actually went online and found these earlier. This is your acne code. That's an L, by the way. So in case they need this as they go through the authorization, we saw her today. Nothing else is going on. And then if you want to do current weight and height, you can, but we're going to go ahead and leave that off for today because it's heavy now with the coronavirus. And then we have anything else failed or tried? Nope, she's good. And then allergies, we know that she has codeine. If I could spell it. That's not how you spell it. You get the point. Penicillin. Okay. So down here, we're going to go into our actual therapy. So she's going to use Accutane. It comes in a tablet. She's using a 10 mg. We're going to give her 60 because she's going to do 2 a day, which is a 20 mg dose. And she's going to have this month and then 1 more refill. And then as I scroll down, the next part here is prescriber information. This is what I've already filled out in my profile. So you see here my name, my practice name is already in here. That pulls from the clinic in your AR setting. So if you have your clinics already set up, if you're currently using telehealth only in your virtual clinic, it'd be a good practice to go in and put an actual address there. So if you just have virtual clinic anywhere USA, I'd go in and put virtual clinic, Carrollton, Texas, or Columbus, Ohio, wherever you are, and have an actual address so the pharmacy can pull that when they pull it down in this form. I have my phone number in here. I don't have my, this is not done correctly, Texas, my zip code. And then for me personally, I'm going to be seeing patients all day long. So if there is a problem or a question, I can't help them. So I'm going to have my good buddy and office manager, Victoria Adrian, be my contact. Phone number, fax, my email, and then I want them to probably call the office, which is going to be this number here, to get a hold of me. And then you see here again, my license number all came in, state license, DEA, NPI, and then I'm going to go ahead and allow here at the bottom that we can do a generic if we want to. If you click no, as you guys know who are prescribers, people are not going to like you very much if they can't get the generic, and the insurance won't cover the branded. So we're going to go ahead and click yes, and we're going to hit save. We've satisfied all the requirements on the form. So you see here a green success screen that you've done it correctly. And you have options now at the bottom. So you could do a preview, which I'm going to show you if I can get my screen to share correctly for that. Are you able to see, Victoria, give me just a second to pull this up. I bet you probably cannot see this PDF.
Not yet.
Okay, let me change my sharing screen here.
It may, yeah, I was going to say it may have just popped up for a quick second, but once you change it, it should be good.
How about now?
Yep.
Okay, so what you just generated is the actual physical form, that, again, the universal form. So you see it here filled out. So this is just like a downloadable, you could, save it if you wanted to, or print it out for her if this is like a physical office that you're, doing things with. But you probably don't need this, it's just a preview for the form, but it's just nice to see here that it's all kind of together. So I'm gonna exit out of that, and I'm gonna go back, and I'm going to give you my other screen. So we can also, now can you see my AR screen again?
Yep.
Perfect. You have a download at the bottom. We have a send email to pharmacy or send fax to pharmacy and an edit button. So let's say my preview, I'm like, wait a minute, that is not correct. We need to put something else in or change something else up. Like her date of birth is actually going to be 82, not 42. She's not that old, right? I'm kidding, that's not old. We're gonna go ahead and change that because it was incorrect. Maybe if I hit this button. Come on, Tiffany. Sorry, guys. I'm on a struggle bus today with this. March 10th of 1982. Okay, so we've gone ahead and changed her birthday. And then now I go back and save it again. And if I want to send it via fax, I'll go ahead and click that button. remember I use my phone number as a fax number. So if I try to hit fax, oh, sent successfully. So there should have been a place where it said not sent. I guess my phone number might be a fax number. It's actually someone's trying to call me right now. So the faxing that says successful at the bottom lets you know it was sent. You could also do another option here to send the email to the pharmacy. Email sent successfully. So either way, you can either fax it or email it. Whatever the preference is in the beginning, you're going to have that required button to put in that information. I would put in both. So if the pharmacy prefers fax, put in the fax, but I would also put in an email just in case for some reason the fax doesn't go through. Never hurts to, have both in there. So once that's done, she's all set. The prescription is set here and she's good to go. We could also put in some notes if we wanted to go through and edit anything. We might want to go through here as well and scroll down and put, let's do our diagnosis codes that we just figured out. I probably should have done that before. Do I have that in here? Thought I did. I thought I had a diagnosis code. I guess I didn't. Oops. Sorry. Maybe I have a prescriptions. I did all this work and now it's not even here. Well, for some reason I didn't hit the save button earlier, but I have a pre-populated dot phrase for the diagnosis code that I just used that I should have used here that shows your CPT, your ICD-10 code, and your modifiers that you could just do in a dot phrase. I don't know why it's not pulling up. I just didn't hit the save button. You could also put in here anything around your prescription. So if you want to do like a dot prescription, you could put in prescribed on this day, whatever you wanted to put in the chart, but the prescription itself is attached to the chart. So you'd always have that there as well with a time stamp on it for the date, the time prescription that you've sent. And at that point, you're all done here. And so the good news is, if you think about Maddie Roberts, as we went through and we looked at her prescription, we changed her birthday. So looky here, now her birthday has been changed. So whatever you change on the pharmacy form writes back to the patient's profile. So if you change it in the form, like her birthday, it was 42, and now you see here it's automatically been changed to 82. That's a real-time sync. So she had no address before, now she has a Lover's Lane in Carrollton, Texas address. So it's an additional way to make sure that your accuracy for both is kind of connecting, because as you change in one, it changes in the other. And at that point, it's faxed, it's sent or emailed, and you're good to go. So that's really that's kind of the basics of how you do prescriptions. Thoughts, questions, ideas?
Yeah, do we have any questions? There's the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, so feel free to type in any questions that you have.
There's got to be something.
You just did an amazing job explaining it.
I mean, clearly. I would say one caveat, or not caveat, but one thing to think about if you're using the cosmetic timeline. So a good example would be if you're doing lip filler, when we ever go back to our physical works, and you want to prescribe, let's say, Valtrex to someone who has a cold sore tendency. If you were doing that, the prescriptions right now are in the health timeline because of the note-taking ability. The health timeline is a bit more robust than the cosmetic timeline. So for the time being right now, this form lives in the health timeline part of the patient's chart. We kind of separate things out as medical versus cosmetic. So if I'm doing Victoria's lips and we're talking about her lips and her consultation, I may send in her prescription on the healthcare timeline, but I'm charting her procedure, doing her pictures, doing her consultation, all that on the cosmetic timeline. So there's a bit of a difference there.
We do have a question. So the question is, can we prescribe narcotics on the system?
So that's a loaded question. If you think about Epic, that's a massive, giant, much bigger thing with full e-prescribe. So I don't know, I live in Texas. So if you're a Texas physician or a nurse, practitioner, PA, you have to go through some state databases to verify controlled substances like narcotics or anything like that. And so this is not connected to that right now. This is basically just a form that you're filling out. So if your state allows people to come in with a prescription and get that filled, then absolutely, because this would be the same thing as that. If they require certain registrations within a database about narcotics being prescribed or checking with other states to see if they've been prescribed the same medicine, etc., this is not going to do that for you. This is not connected out to some big like drug database where we're verifying and checking things. This is just to make it easier for you to send the prescription and go in. So anonymous attendee on insurance, if the patient's just going to cash pay, or they have insurance on file at their pharmacy already, no. So like for me, I have it already on file at my CVS at Hebron and Josie. So when they send a prescription in for me, they don't put that on there. It's just in here if people are not currently, if they don't have that done in their pharmacy world today, or it's a new pharmacy, whatever that is, it's all there for them. We just use the standard form that they require from CVS and Walgreens, so that it would match all the criteria that you need. So you don't need it, and you can print it out. Yes, so Brad, there's an option I'll show you really quickly. Under prescriptions here, you can go to download, and it looks just like the preview. So what I pulled up before is a PDF that you could just print it out and good to go. And then on your compound and prescriptions, I think that depends on your compounder. So if you're using a separate compounder, if they'll accept this form and you can do all the instructions in this form, absolutely. I don't see it, you know, I certainly would check with them. I don't want to speak to what pharmacies across the country do. I'm by no means a doctor, nurse, or PA that can prescribe. I have no rights to do any of that. We're working on it from like the medical billing, coding, insurance side, that, you know, obviously if the pharmacy will accept the form and accept this, you know, this kind of printout thing via e-fax or email, you're good to go. And I know that some states have relaxed a lot of their narcotic laws and controlled substance laws for the current crisis, because of being able to physically go get the prescription and take it in and different things. So you may be able to use this right now where you couldn't have used it even a month ago. But by the time this all clears up and we're all set and good to go, excuse me, you'll have an e-prescribe, fingers crossed, a full e-prescribe function in here live that you can use, that connects to all the databases that you need. So it's in a sense a stopgap to give you the access to it today that you'll need so you can keep going. And then you'll have a much more robust, more epic style, to your point, function there. And then the super bill will tie to this as well. So the same charting function that you're seeing with the dot phrases, there'll be some search functions that you can just quickly go over and, excuse me, give me 1 second. As I'm choking to death. In the super bill function of it, you'll see a much more comprehensive note you can use that will auto default you to fill in all the fields. So basically we're building you out a medical chart without having to build in fields. It'll just have you kind of go down the line with what you need to fill in. That will then converge into a super bill that you could take to a medical billing company that you use now, or there'll be one hopefully with our integration partner you can use through the integration group that we go with. So that is coming too. In the world right now, the current world, if you go in to take your payment on your invoices, you can certainly put in the information like the billing codes. You can take your co-pays. You'll have enough in here with the chart to start doing insurance if you've got the appropriate codes in here to start working through it. But insurance is a whole different animal, so we're working to get that done for you quickly, but whole different animal. But at least for today, you can prescribe something and send it to the pharmacy. So we're pretty happy about that. Yay! If you're doing numbing cream, which as we all know is important, since in most states you have to have a prescription for numbing cream now, which is, I won't talk about my views on that, but point being, if you have to prescribe numbing cream, this is a good way to do it here. You could send it to the pharmacy and get the little numbing cream, you know, things pre-done for the patient. So some of those things, it's just a matter of being efficient, hopefully lessening your load of doing things manually going forward and being able to automate your flow. Anybody else? I've talked like a whole bunch, so I'm sorry for that, but Victoria, do you have any thoughts on this or things that you're seeing with customers who've been trying to use it or started to use it?
Yeah, so the feedback I've been getting, everyone's very, very excited about it, just to use in the current state, and then they're excited too once the practice opens back up, just all the possibilities that telehealth along with the prescription piece to it now, it really just makes it an all-inclusive solution. So really, regardless, you know, if you're injecting or if you have those one-off cases where you do need to prescribe things, it just, you know, it really makes it a one-stop shop for you to get everything you need done. So
I think one of the big pieces is wellness. You know, if you think about our weight loss clinics, our testosterone clinics, wellness is I think growing faster right now than aesthetics as like an overall category. So if you're getting to the wellness world of any sort, then this is a great option for you to be able to do some of the more wellness type things, even like prescribing vitamins and things that you get at the pharmacy that aren't over the counter. This makes it a lot easier than having to like keep the prescription pad, and is there compliance issues there with who's signing it and all that. This is considered like an electronic signature for you as you send it in.
We have another question. So
Perfect.
Let's see here. So can we create favorites and prescriptions that we prescribe often?
That's a great question, Brad, and I like that. So the answer right now is no, but the answer is we definitely should, 100%. We will have a favorites section for your codes, for your diagnosis codes. That way, if you want to put them into the form, if you need them for the form, if your pharmacy is more stringent, or the insurance company in the authorization phase. But we'll have a favorites for your codes. And I like the favorites for the, I'm writing this down, taking my note right
I
now.
like it.
I like it because there should be, I'm thinking a lot of things in aesthetics on our end of the business are very, often very frequently prescribed. So I'm on it. Good call. Any other great ideas like Brad's that we can talk about? So we've had the narcotic discussion 3 times today, I think, maybe 2 times. So I urge you to go check with your state requirements while we're busy working on your e-prescribe. And we'll be able to hopefully help you with that soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to unshare my little screen here. Have I turned it off? Can you just see me now? Is there any screen sharing going on? Or is it just me?
It's just you, but I have our last little slide that I
Perfect.
will.
Oh, we have a chat. Who's chatting us? Oh, that's still the music from Mindy. Got it.
Can you see my PowerPoint screen?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, perfect. We're getting stuff to work today. So if you guys have any questions or if you would like to schedule a session to have one of our reps kind of help you get this set up, we're definitely happy to help. So you can email info@aesthetic-record and just request a meeting, and we'll get you scheduled for a screen share session where we take you through everything really from start to finish. And then if you would like to look in our Learning Center, it's learn.aestheticrecord.com. We have all of the updated articles in there. So as our new features are released, you can kind of see bits and pieces of how to set particular things up within your account. But definitely urge you to meet with our team if you have any, any questions about anything, or you would like to set up telehealth, prescriptions. We're here to help and we're eager to help. So just let us know if you need anything at all.
And I think we'll also, maybe even through our little chat bubble on our site or through our Learn Center, possibly be able to offer some like some of the dot phrases. So if you have a trial account with us or a new account in the last 2 weeks, we preloaded for you several dot phrases that are already in the system around really focused on virtual health. I'll be happy to go back in and add some additional ones to that so that you'll have sort of a list you can copy and paste over into your portal directly. So we'll get you some dot phrases, and then we'll go through, as I mentioned with the ICD-10 codes, we're trying to link into our system today in the current state, a favorites list, our most frequently prescribed list. Like you wouldn't have a colonoscopy in here clearly. So the things that you're most often going to be doing in the system in this, telehealth world, we'll put those in here as well for you while we wait for the sort of the e-prescribe and the medical coding and all those systems to be up to speed. So we'll give you that. And then we can also hopefully put in the dot phrases, even like a dot phrase list of favorites that you could just delete out based on whatever the diagnosis is that you want. So we'll take that as a go back to give you back some things on the codes and on frequent prescriptions, and also on any of the additional charts that we need on the dot phrases or charting pieces. And then also the last part of that is on questionnaires. I would certainly look at if you're going to take insurance in your clinic, or that's part of what you already do and you want to kind of move it to the system, the questionnaires to intake the insurance information to the patient portal, we can help you get that set up as well. So when the patient comes in virtually for their appointment, they've already filled out all the insurance information, all the medical intake forms for you, that they're ready to go with the full medical exam on day 1. We have a question. Someone asked it. Then they deleted it.
Oh, it was me. I was responding via chat. So we just got a quick question. Can we send out kind of a shorter way of how to get the prescription set up? So Mallory, the answer to that is most definitely yes. We can actually send you an article of everything, step by step. And then we do have, I believe we have a shorter video too, I believe, right, Tiffany?
Yes, we'll do one that's facing, we have one for our internal team, but the biggest thing to know is like really 3 steps. If you're thinking about this now and you want to put your bullet points in your head, step number 1, go to settings and put your NPI, licensure, DEA numbers in your teammates portal or in their teammates profile. So step number 1 is to prepare the prescriber to prescribe. And then number 2 would be for the patient you're going to see. If you want to include their insurance info, go into their profile and put in their information so that they can receive the prescription or be prescribed for, including things like date of birth that you have to have, address, that sort of information. And then step 3 would be as you start the procedure and you go through and do all your notes and things, and you click the prescription button to open it up, is to add in the pharmacy if it's not already in there. so that you can send over the prescription. And then beyond that, it's just like a traditional prescription form of how many, how often, what dose, etc. But it's provider first, patient second, prescription third. And whatever you change in the prescription form will automatically sync back to the prescriber's number. So let's say Victoria put her number in wrong and I catch it, or she catches it and she can fix it on the prescription form. It'll automatically fix it in her profile. Or the patient's birthday is wrong like I had here, it'll automatically fix it in the patient's profile as well. So the prescription is like your accurate form of record that we take that information and we fix all the places where it may not be right in the system. So prescriber, patient, prescription, the 3 Ps. I just came up with that, by the way, like just now in the moment. Did it resonate with anybody?
The 3 Ps.
The 3 Ps. All righty. Well, we'll give you a shorter, quicker version of the webinar, or a quick walkthrough that we'll share off as well on our YouTube channel. That'll be a quick, like 5-minute overview. I think it was a 10-minute yesterday, so I'll try to cut that down for you. And then if you need us, for sure, start a chat, call us, email us, send a smoke signal, whatever you have to do. We'd love to hear from you.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and we look forward to talking with you all soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day.